On this. Good morning. I'm Janie Parrish with the Wadsworth Area Chamber of Commerce, and we are zooming in today with our special guest, Tom Mountjoy. And Tom is a property inspector with Footer to Ridge Property Inspections. So good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Janie. Thanks for having me. It's
Oh my
great to see
God.
you this morning.
Yeah, I know it's we're recording this on a Friday morning, so we're excited because we're right ahead of the weekend. So we got lots of smiles ahead of us. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, well, Tom, tell us about Footer to Ridge Property Inspections and what you do.
Okay, so Footer to Ridge, as the name implies, Footer Ridge Property Inspections. We do property inspections mostly for real estate transactions. Typically, I do it for a buyer since they're the ones with putting the money down. Occasionally, we can do them for sellers and do a kind of a pre-sale inspection, but typically it's for a buyer. And we kind of like your doctor does on your annual physical, we go through the home and check out the major that to give a good overall picture of the condition of the home and what they might anticipate as far as upcoming repairs, that kind of thing. Just give them a good, comfortable feeling when they make their purchase, so that they're understanding what their finances are heading towards.
And especially since this is your largest purchase that you're ever going to make is investing in a home. This is very important. Yeah. So,
yeah, very much so. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you, how do you become a home inspector? Because I don't think you just put out a shingle and say, I'm coming.
Well, now that you said that, yeah, life has changed for home inspectors. Up prior to 2019, actually, you could just put a plaque up and say, I'm a home inspector with no education or any kind of background checks. In 2019, the state of Ohio required home inspectors become licensed, and they required, I think it's 80 hours of class work and then like 10 inspections with a licensed inspector. So now the state regulates us, we're background checked and make sure that we have liability insurance and that kind of thing. So there's like pardon me, there's a process of education, and then of course going through the paperwork for the state. And then we're required to have 14 hours of continuing education each year ongoing to make sure that we're staying current with the home industry and, different law changes and that kind of thing. So there are steps that you have to take nowadays.
You know what? I love that because the more education that you have and understanding of what's going on, the better it is for the buyer. So yeah, that's really nice that they did that. I'm sure when you first heard that, you're probably thinking, oh, how am I going to fit this into my life? But I'm sure you're so thrilled, and especially to have the credentials.
Yeah, and it does give everybody, everybody involved. The realtors were happy about it, and it should give the buyers also a little bit more comfort that they're dealing with someone who's at least gone through the steps of educating themselves and, pardon me, know what they're looking at.
Sure. Yeah. Now, what's unique about Footer to Ridge home inspections?
Well, it's kind of difficult to be really unique because, as I said, the state requires us we have a standards of procedures to go through. And so in that regard, the steps that an inspection would go through is kind of same from business to business. So how do you differentiate yourself is kind of the challenge. Mine, I think that I'm a little maybe different, that I really encourage the buyer to be there and to actually walk with me through the home, so that as we go through it, we can discuss the different components, as show them where the shutoffs are for electric, water, gas, that kind of thing. And particularly with new homeowners, it's a big, some of them are very, very nervous. So
Sure.
I think what I do is try to do a good job of giving them some peace and some calm as we go through the home, and just like to educate as we go.
Well, because you know what, Tom, traditionally, because I've bought several homes, you just wait for the inspection report to come back. It's not like you learn anything, or know where those shut off things are. You just waited for it to come back. So I do think that's unique. But I also think it's unique on my perspective is that you're involved in the community. And I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, we love Wadsworth. We moved here, boy, approximately 30 years ago, I think it was, when our kids were real little. And of course, the schools were a big draw. And so we love Wadsworth. We try to get involved in many different ways. We're local church and that kind of thing. And through the kids growing up, participating in little leagues and that kind of activities. And um, yeah, just the town's a wonderful town, and we love to be involved in that. Yeah.
Because you know what, Tom, a lot of times when you have your own business too, you're so entrenched in that business that you forget that part about the community. And even you might want to do it, but it feels like the time's so limited. So I really admire you for all that you've done for our community as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
So I wanted to ask, why do you love what you do? Because I know that you do.
So part of it I've kind of already stated. One of aspect of it is I love working with people in general. I love communicating with people and just having conversation, that kind of thing. So that part of the job is really nice for me. I like that. The other thing is that although our process of going through the home is the same, I approach each home, with a certain procedure. Each home is different. It's kind of like people. Like there's different characteristics in the home. There's different sometimes hidden nooks and crannies that we have to find, and just it's just kind of more of a mystery as you go into the house to try to figure out all what's going on. And so even though it sounds like it's like repetitive, it's not, because each home is so different. Even a house that was made by maybe the same builder, side by side, each home has its own little personality. So that part of it I enjoy a lot too. It's kind of a mystery.
So you, in your next life, you really could be a detective.
Sure, yeah, and again, that is part of the job. We find maybe find a little water leak here or there, and you try to find out where it's coming from. We're not required to find the source, but that's kind of part of our job too. We try to find out what's happening so that we can explain on the report what's happening.
Okay, so I have a question because I want to know, first of all, Tom, how can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm not huge on a lot of social media. I'm a little bit older, so I'm a little slow getting there. But you can find me on Facebook, and that's at Footer to Ridge. And then also on the internet, footertoridge.com. We have places there that we communicate with people. And you can find out more about my business, about who I am. We have a little family profile kind of a deal going on, and explains our different services. We do radon testing, termite inspections, along with the general home inspections that people may be interested in. So yeah, footertoridge.com or at Footer to Ridge on Facebook.
Okay, so and my last question is, now if I'm purchasing a home, does the realtor find you or do I find you?
Okay, so it's a little bit of both. Like we
Okay.
don't work. I'm not hired by a realtor. We're hired by each individual customer. So a lot of it though is going out and meeting with different realtors, building a relationship with them so they feel comfortable in providing your name to their customer. And so that there's a little bit of that. And now again, with the state laws, when they changed in 2019, realtors are required, if they're going to hand out one name of a licensed person, they have to hand out three names, just,
Okay.
kind of keep things balanced.
Sure.
So there's that. And there's sometimes people will just Google online, home inspector in my area, and your name pops up. And also we have a couple associations. ASHI is one of my associations I'm involved with. And sometimes people will contact the association directly and ask for a reference. So there's different ways, but generally speaking, yeah, most of it's actually referral by a realtor whom with we've made a relationship and worked with them in the past.
And I always say this, it's if your business is going to grow, it's going to be through relationships. And as you well know, yeah. Well, Tom Mountjoy from Footer to Ridge Home Inspections, thank you so much. And thanks for giving so many homeowners peace of mind and the education you provide, because that truly is a wonderful thing when you're making that big purchase. Yeah.
Well, thank you again for having me, Janie. I appreciate the time, and hope you have a great day.
Okay, you too, because it's Friday today.
It is good,
Yeah.
good day.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Janie, bye-bye.
Bye.